Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:32 a.m.
Alexa, what's today's date?
It's Tuesday, April 30th.
Okay, guys, good morning. We're gonna see if we can get out and do a little walking. So it's just me getting ready for the day. Okay, guys, good morning. Very crispy morning this morning. Clear, blue skies, sun is beaming. Not a cloud in the sky, guys. So, yeah. So, guys, this morning, I woke up with some thoughts. I watched some videos recently, and some thoughts that came onto me was about what we're going to call training day, or the way we train ourselves when we're trying to lose weight. Also, how we get ourselves back on that track based on the levels in which we've, some of us have trained, or some of us have found ways to train to get this weight off of us, or also what's in line up in terms of how you can train or to the levels in which you do. So let's go, guys. Here we go. Was talking about some extreme training. When you think about extreme training, there's things that come to your mind. One thing that comes to my mind the most is there's a Marine who's a Navy SEAL. His name is David Goggins, and that guy is extreme personified. He's considered to be, at least the title that's been given him, the toughest man or toughest SOB in America, or something like that. Forgive me if I debacle that premise, but and if you know anything, guys, please go ahead and leave a comment about it, because you may know more than I do. So the David Goggins situation, guys, that's the David Goggins thing is extreme training. So you can call that, based on the topic is training day. So there's all kinds of ways that people train. There's high-level training courses. There's high-level training fitness courses. There's marathon training. There's all kinds of training. There's martial arts training, and there's boxing training. So let's look at some of this when it comes to boxing training. So if you've been watching, and you guys know that there's an upcoming fight between a notable, I believe he's 58 this time in his lifetime. It may be a little less or more. And we all know him as Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson is about to fight a famous YouTuber named Jake Paul, and they're going to get it on. And Jake Paul is younger. I think he's 20, I want to say 28. I don't know the numbers, guys, but you can say. So to what extent of practice or training is a Jake Paul training for someone who is notably one of the most vicious fighters in the world, irregardless of his days gone by? About a couple of years ago, in my hometown, I went to a local Target store, and I was hearing this voice. Heard this voice, and it sounded familiar, but I didn't know what it was. And I was like, is that who I think that is? So I walked a little further and I asked this guy, the young guy, who I later find out that he's one of the guys who was a helper for this individual I'm talking about. And he was standing there, and I asked him, I said, "Is that who I think it is?" And he looks at me and he says, "Well, who do you think that is?" And so I take a couple steps further to the next aisle, and I walk 2 paces in front of me, and not 5 feet from me is standing who? Mike Tyson. And I'm like, wow. First of all, I'm in awe. And second of all, that encounter could be, I'm 300 some odd pounds, guys. Mike Tyson is probably 250 at that time. I don't know what his, but standing there in his presence, guys, felt to me as if I had walked into a standing off of a pit bull. If not a pit bull, a lion, somebody that is capable of taking care of you in different ways. And so my mindset was, I want to say something to him, but he was busy. He was on the phone. He was talking to somebody, and he was talking about former fights that he has had with other competitors and things. And it was just interesting just to hear his voice. And so I didn't take that step further. Somebody later on said you probably should have, because I would have really loved to have shaken his hand and met him. I hear he's a pretty good person, but I didn't. But just standing in awe, guys, if you're standing in his presence and you don't know, what you know about him or saw about him, your brain immediately is working on you. So that was an encounter. So I can just imagine what's going on in the mind of this young guy. I don't know, he feels confident, and he my money's on Mike. Sorry to say, I don't care what age he is. And I saw him in an interview just the other day, and he took off his shirt, and Mike's in shape, guys. He may not have the same, but you take his knowledge and his abilities, and I'll take that over this kid every day. So that's just my opinion. I don't know. Sometimes you have to understand it. So, leading on to training day is an understanding, guys. So I've trained under a few professed martial art trainers and masters, and I wouldn't want to meet the trainers that I trained under in any point in an alley. Short stature, some not so short, but their abilities are without beyond the abilities of mine. So you can take that for its worth. You can do what you want to do, but experience is definitely a teacher, and there are people who have mastered the art of training, the art of martial arts types, from boxing to martial arts, in terms of boxing and just martial arts, period. So be careful out there, because you'll never know who you're dealing with. But the training aspects of which you go through. So I can only go through my training based on how I started out. I've been doing this thing called martial arts off and on for the last 30 years. Started in college. So the training had differed throughout the different times that I've been involved in programs. And so, you can understand the difference if you've been in it for a while. And so, for instance, when we started out where we were on a gym room floor in college, and the instructor that I had, he was a stickler for conditioning and movement and all of that. So I can go back to my first day in doing this, and you're on a gym floor, wooden floor, and you're doing knuckle push-ups, guys, straight out the bat. You know, you're moving the length of the basketball floor, and you're kicking, and you're punching, and you're moving, and consistently. And I don't mean it's like little bit break here and there, but you're training. So with that training, guys, you start to understand, you know, that there's levels to this thing. So it's no different than I saw there's a short that's being shown where you get to see the training process of a monk, a young monk. This kid, he looks to be maybe 5, I would say, and they have him where he's in a posture and he's balancing. I don't know what it is he's balancing, but he's crying at the same time. And so, you know, to get him to the levels that he's got to reach, he's going to go through some things. So we're all going to go through some things. And I think that's the point, guys, is that, you know, depending on how you approach it or how you measure it for yourself, you know, what's hard to you may not be hard to me. What's hard to me may not be hard to you. But there's things that you will encounter when you're trying to train or trying to get weight off of you. So depending on what levels that you are able to push yourself to, you know, this road that I was on prior to my illness, I felt I was conditioning myself, moving towards the training that I used to do of old. And then you get a glitch, and the glitch that I have has sidelined me enough that, you know, it almost feels like you may not ever reach that, because you remember those levels of training that you were capable of in your youth. But then also you need to do that. You know, you need to keep the thoughts of being able to condition yourself, whether it's by your dietary or your fitness that's going to be involved in order for you to shed the pounds and hopefully get yourself in a healthier condition. So, you know, my you know, right now, because I'm in a recovery stage and I'm on the medication to at least, you know, if not fix, but get this thing in a manageable way, I can only do so much, you know, but, you know, you still got to do that so much in order for you to progress. So here I am walking today. This is my second time around, guys. But yeah, you know, you get to understand that there's levels to this thing, you know, and there's also time. So the time in which you hopefully, you know, will understand that you didn't put this weight on overnight. It's not going to come off of you overnight. I don't care how extreme your program is, or even some of your dietary choices or your approaches, because what works for you may work for you, but may not work for me, and vice versa. So when you start to figure that out, it's all about you. You know, you have to find what works for you. So, you know, when you reach that training day, so every day is a training day as far as I'm concerned. So every day that you're able to get up and do some exercise or do some movement, then I would advise for myself to do that. And of course, guys, like I say to you, before you do anything physically or even health-wise in terms of eating and different things like that and the fasting and all that, please consult with your doctor, healthcare provider, or your nutritionist or experts that are licensed to help to guide you in what you're doing, because you don't want to do something that could cause something that you can't reverse. So that would be my thought and understanding on that. So other than that, because that's what I'm doing. So for myself, guys, it's just a matter of pushing on. So I'm going to push on until this weight comes off of me. And I'm going to do it in ways that fit my abilities and also fit my capabilities until I can get to the levels of which some people are self-proclaimed or proclaimed masters of. And that's okay, because you've reached that level and you are confident in that level, and that's where you should be. It's no different. Like I said, I see the toughest man in these interviews and things, and I don't think he'd be talking about it if he wasn't so tough. But also, I see one of the toughest men on the planet, and right now, he's 2 months out, and he's looking really good. So that means he's putting in the efforts, whatever that takes. Now, we don't know what the outcomes are, guys. We'll see that on the day that comes. But the host was saying, man, you're 2 months out and you're looking like you're looking now. And he said something funny. I can't remember what it was. He's like, I know. something like that. Mike is a character, guys, but you can see that, for what efforts he's putting towards this, I wouldn't want to be the guy that he's going to meet in the ring. I don't care who you are. That's where my money is. I just don't care what that is, because what he can do to you, based on his experience, and he puts his mind to something. We've all seen what that looks like. Plus, he's had the training, so he's been trained by the best. So, training day, guys, it's a real thing. So, anyway, guys, that's my rant for today. Just wanted to hit on something that I came across yesterday, and my mind is pushing me forward to things. Because, what I realize is that for anyone who takes on the task of losing weight or training, or those are personal efforts. So, how you push yourself, how do you get to the levels in which you know that you're capable of, you're going to have to train. So that's training your mental, training your physical, training how you, your health and how you eat and all of that. It can be overwhelming sometimes, but I don't believe in giving up. I'm going to do this forever long it takes, and I'm going to work towards it. So that's it for today. So guys, have a peaceful and a positive day. Thank you for watching my video. We'll catch you in the next one.